let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show with Let's BS Free. I am your host, Marlon, along with Anna Hart. On today's show, we're going to get an update on both Kamala Harris and Obama's speech in Philadelphia. And lastly, we're going to get an update on Hurricane Milton that happened this past weekend. And see the devastation because sorry. These cannot see any of the videos. Can you hear them though?
So?
Yeah, I can hear everything. And it's only your transitions that go out. So we'll see when you do your video for the clips. We'll see if they come through for me. But like, no.
Hi, Anna. Can you hear the song at all? Hi.
Yeah, I can hear everything. I can hear everything.
You can hear it.
Yeah, it just gives me a black screen. It just gives me a black screen. It says this video didn't like download or
load or yeah. Okay, weird.
That is weird.
It comes through for me.
Yeah, this.
You know what I blame? I put
it might be
Norton security on my computer a couple weeks ago, and then I canceled the subscription. So now it's still sitting inside of my computer.
Oh,
and I bet that's what it is. Because I canceled the subscription. Sorry, folks. I know y'all don't care about this. I canceled the subscription because when I'm in my car, it won't connect Android Auto because of Norton. And so I had to get rid of Norton. It's crazy. You know, whatever. Try to do the right thing and something else goes wrong.
That happened.
All right. Well, sorry, Theo, but as long as you can hear it, you can still, comment on it.
Listen. All right, Lee.
Second hour, we are jam-packed. We have a very special Am I the A-Hole? Keep that in mind. It's a very special Am I the A-Hole? We have a real or nah, which honestly, I can say today, if y'all deem this real, then it goes down as the most bizarre video I have ever heard on this show. Like, it is out there. Positive story of the week returns, Mafia video of the week, and of course, Foxy video of the week. Other than the screw up computer, Theus, how's everything going?
Everything's cool, man.
Mm,
Everything's good.
man.
It's Sunday. Family. Good times.
If
Good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made my famous chili, which yeah.
It was a hit.
Yeah.
It was a hit.
And anybody that's new to the show that's trying to figure out what's going on, that is Foxy, my wife of 20 years, who likes to commentate in the background but refuses to come on air.
Hi, Foxy.
Hey,
Hello,
y'all.
hello.
Let's see who's out there. Speaking of Foxy herself, she's saying hello to everybody. Susan is in the house. Hello, Susan. It's all Norton's fault, Theus. I think because you canceled it, Norton said, I got something for you, buddy.
Yeah, no,
Parker is
I
in
can't
the
even
house.
find how to uninstall the stupid thing. It's crazy.
I used to be the master of that. Now
I go
Microsoft,
into the control panel and
yeah, I can't figure it out now because I would love to clean out my computer of stuff I just don't use anymore. Like when I was starting off and trying to be fancy, and I had a internet soundboard that I could use and everything, and then I realized, like Thea's thing, that the soundboard will pop up, and if I'm looking at YouTube, it will pause YouTube, and then it will go off. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But anyway, we got a lot to get into, so let's get this party started. So our first video is a interview on The View with Kamala Harris. And I wanted to play this video because it may not be widespread or the whole book of, but it does put a little bit of silence on people who said Harris never has a policy. She's never said what she was going to do when she get in office and blah, 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 and everything else. Well, this is Kamala Harris on The View giving what's one of the policies and one of the things that she want to do when if she gets into office.
Taking care of a parent, that means trying to cook what they want to eat, right? What they can eat. It means picking out clothes for them that this soft enough that it doesn't irritate their skin, right? It means trying to think of something funny to make them laugh or smile. Yeah. And there's so much about that really is about giving folks dignity. What I am proposing is that basically what we will do is allow Medicare to cover in-home health care. Oh. Fine. Right. So, and because we're talking about these kinds of things where it's just about helping an aging parent or person, prepare a meal, put their sweater on. Yes. And it's about dignity for that individual. It's about independence for that individual. Yes. I mean, people are of declining skills to some extent, but their dignity their pride has not declined. No. They want to stay in their home. They don't want to go somewhere else. Plus, for the family to send them to a residential care facility, to hire somebody is so expensive.
All right, Anna, what you got?
I'm torn because Mama Hart just got Medicare in past couple of years. She was told to stop the insurance through her work, and she just gets Medicare. She pays an awful lot of money, but I don't see her getting a whole lot of care. So I'm concerned when I hear, well, we'll get Medicare to cover it. And on the other hand, it is a change, a movement. It is covering it for some, I guess, in some fashion, or maybe in some percentage. Care that people wouldn't have had otherwise. I can only hope. We have a lot wrong in our health system that I would love to see changed. I don't know if I'm ever going to see it in my life. Don't know. As far as the video, she's doing what she's supposed to. And we always knew, I mean, yeah, she's giving new details. We always knew kind of where her policies lie. So, yay and eh.
Right.
I can't help it.
All right, Theus.
Yeah, so kind of feeding a little bit off of what, well, a lot off of what Anna was saying. So, I guess I come to these discussions about how she did on an interview or whatever, perhaps from a different perspective. I don't expect, or would even advise for a presidential candidate to give a lot of details at all. Because the American public, and here I'm going to take a shot at a few people here. I'm not going to name any names. But all y'all out there know what I'm talking about. American people they're intentionally lazy. We are intentionally lazy in how we interpret things. So if she put out any real details, she will then later be said to have lied. They will say that she broke a promise. Understanding that anything she might want to do, she can't craft legislation. So Congress has to do it. The original version of the Affordable Care Act that Obama wanted to do was much more robust than what we ended up with. But we got what managed to make it through Congress. And all these things that she is saying, she's keeping them purposely high level and vague because she can't guarantee any of it, but she has to give us some candy. So she says, 5,000 here, or would, things like that. That's why she used a lot of illustrative language about, making sure that you can give them what they want to eat and make them smile and make their last years more comfortable and enjoyable. Right. None of that is policy. All of that is really just creating the image so that you can feel what she's trying to say. And I think that's what she has to do, because if she came out with policy, like I said, people would act like they did with that stupid $2,000 check, So I appreciate that part. She's very human. She is who she's always been, though, right? The part of me that liked Kamala was what she presented when she was in Congress as a senator. And that's what I like. I like that hard edge. I like that incredible intelligence. I like her being quick on her feet and taking no nonsense and being able to call people out without being, like unnecessarily harsh or cruel. I think those are talents. Those are skills.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to move the goalpost on her, right? Like, it's similar like I did with Biden. If I had my druthers, of course, my candidate, I don't know who it would be this time around, but last time it would have been Elizabeth Warren. So I can't turn around and look at Biden and say he's no Warren. Of course he's not. America didn't choose that. And then in this situation, they're saying, well, America didn't choose her. Yes, they did, because they voted for that ticket and she was already in that office. So the ticket and the office were still the same. Circumstances shifted. She moved in the normal order of how things would go. So saying that she didn't get any votes is really kind of a temperamental or knick-knacky kind of thing. So I'm cool with it. Just do the show. Let's finish strong. Got a couple weeks. Yeah.
I'm with this on the fact of, don't give away your hand, because I can already hear, oh, that sounds good, but how you going to do it? Yeah. Even if I tell you, you're still not going to understand, or even if I tell you, you'll say you can't do that, or even if I tell you, you'll move the goalposts and whatever else. So, whatever.
And you notice it's okay for Trump to say, I can't tell you until I get in office because I don't want someone else to try to mess it up. But if she says anything like that, she will automatically be declared unfit and not ready.
Yeah. So now with Anna's statement, I'm with Anna. Yay and yeah. I mean, yay, you're adding home care to Medicaid. Yay.
Adding what?
Adding what?
Home care to Medicare.
Medicare.
That was always a part of Medicare, though. It wasn't as robust. It's not as robust as it needs to be, but it was there.
Well,
no, correction. No, you're right. No, it was
it's
facility care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But this is home care for Medicare.
This is have a nurse come into your home, clean your dressing, make sure that you are healthy enough by your stats. Yeah.
Hey, but one thing I did want to say, I'm sorry, with respect to Medicare. So for those of you who have a loved one or you yourself are transitioning into Medicare, what you get automatically if you've worked enough years is original Medicare. Okay. And I'm talking on the health side of Medicare. There's a lot of things that goes into Medicare, but on the health care side of Medicare, you automatically can get enrolled into original Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
You only have one opportunity to go into the more expanded Medicare without having to go through health qualifications. So if you want to do that, you have to do that the first time when you're eligible. Because if you go into a Medicare Advantage plan and then you want to go back, you have to qualify on health basis, which is really hard to do when you're older. So just kind of make sure you talk to a licensed professional, get all of your options and figure out how that works, because you get original Medicare and you get a good Medigap plan. It's really good, especially if you can afford some of the deductibles, but the coverage is really robust in my opinion. And then Medicare Advantage plans, they're easy to understand because they work like what you used to have on your job, right? But understanding original Medicare with Medigap, that's Medicare. Medicare Advantage, that is private insurance companies that are operating on behalf of Medicare. So you have exited the government plan and you've gone into a private plan, but it's still good coverage. Just make sure that your coverage is only as good as you understand it. That's the best way I would put it. So get with somebody who has a license in your area. They're more than willing to give you information. And we're about to enter into the Medicare enrollment period. So let's go.
Okay.
All right. Saying hello to Afra Singh. Hello, Afra.
Hello.
And Tracy is saying Part A is free, Part B costs, and please do not get the Advantage plan.
So I said it the way I said it for a very important reason, Tracy, and that's because
welcome, Tracy.
Everybody's situation is different, and for some people, for many people, and the Medicare Advantage plan is the better way for them to go. So that's why I say get with someone local to you that is licensed, that can walk you through it, because it's a very dense a very important decision that you're having to make. I mean, I have my general preference, but when it comes to you as a person, this is you, right? This is you getting your care. So take it seriously, get the information, and make the best decision.
Okay, Foxy, you had a question.
So, don't they generally ask like health questions, like get a list of your medications, you know, stuff like that to help you guide you on what would be the best? Is that what a professional would do?
Well, it really kind of depends on what you're getting out of that professional. So, you know, these are people who make money doing what they do. So if you're going to write up coverage, if you're there to get information to get coverage, and they're going to gather all that, because one of the things about your medications is it's kind of outside of Medicare, unfortunately. So you end up having to get what's called a Part D plan, which is your prescription plan. And that's a whole different discussion. But yes, have that information handy, kind of like you do when you go to any doctor's appointment. Have your list of prescriptions and what your dosage is and how often you take it, because it does help to marry it up to that Part D plan to get you in the right place. But where most people are most confused is on the medical side, right? Because it's like, well, it's this deductible if that, and then it's this deductible if that, but then this deductible, you know, resets, and it can be a lot. But yes, a good licensed professional is going to get all that information from you, because they're going to like hit up a couple different options to figure out what makes the most sense. Hope that helps. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, full disclosure, because now that I'm talked so much about it, I am a licensed insurance representative. I'm not active anymore, but I have to make that disclosure. I ain't trying to sell nothing. I don't sell nothing. So that's why I'm saying go find you somebody local to you and get that information.
All right, what's the second question, Foxy?
No question.
Oh,
I'll take my questions off the air, sir.
off the air talking to me, and I have no idea what. So, okay, best of luck. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next video and talk about something I do know what I'm talking about. Obama is making waves with the speech that he did in Philadelphia. This is just an excerpt of that speech. It ain't the whole speech. I tried to cut it down as much as I possibly could, but we talked about Obama, a man who can talk until the sun come up, and probably did. So I tried to wing it down, and I still got it a little over 4 minutes. So I apologize, but the speech is making its rounds. And by the way, Parker is the one who sent me these speeches. So again, Parker, I really appreciate your help on this. I thank you a lot, because I know Parker always has his ears to the streets and to the media at the same time. So I reached out to Parker and say, hey, what do you feel like we should talk about? And he sent me a couple of clips and everything. So Parker, I really, truly do appreciate it. But let me stop talking, because like I said, this is 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is Barack Obama's speech in Philadelphia endorsing Kamala Harris.
We had a historic pandemic wreaking havoc on communities and businesses. Disruptions from the pandemic then caused prices to spike, and that put a strain on family budgets. And in many ways, it's felt like the aspirations of working people have taken a back seat to the priorities of the rich and the powerful. So I get it, why people are looking to shake things up. I mean, I am the hopey changey guy. So I understand people feeling frustrated and feeling we can do better. What I cannot understand is why anybody would think that Donald Trump will shake things up in a way that is good for you, Pennsylvania. I don't understand that. Because there is absolutely no evidence that this man thinks about anybody but himself. I've said it before. Donald Trump is a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. You've got the tweets in all caps, the ranting and the raving about crazy conspiracy theories. You got the 2-hour speeches, word salad, just, it's like Fidel Castro, just on and on. Constant attempts to sell you stuff. Who does that? Selling you gold sneakers and a $100,000 watch and most recently a Trump Bible. He wants you to buy the Word of God, Donald Trump edition. Got his name right there next to Matthew and Luke. I mean, you could not make this stuff up. If you saw it on Saturday Night Live, you'd say, well, no, that's going too far. No, he's doing that. It's crazy. And the reason he does it is because all he cares about is his ego and his money and his status. He's not thinking about you. Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than a means to an end. He wants the middle class to pay the price for another huge tax cut that would mostly help him and his country club buddies. Doesn't care if he costs more women their reproductive freedoms because it won't make a difference in his life. Do not boo. Vote. Think about it. Just the other day, we learned that on January 6th, a couple years ago, Donald Trump was told that Mike Pence was in the Capitol about 40 feet from an angry mob chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." And his response was, quote, "So what? Don't boo." If Donald Trump does not care that a mob might attack his own vice president, do you think he cares about you?
Trust me, I had to cut that real short. There was a lot more before. There was a lot more in the middle. And
No, I'm good with it, bro. You got the meat of it, and here's a couple things I'll say. It's not what is a bit more of a critique on Obama than anything else. The man is a gifted speaker. He's incredibly intelligent. His timing is impeccable. I mean, he's a real talent, right? But your butt been more largely absent for the last 4 years. And I get it. There's the tradition of, the president doesn't speak on its successor. You don't get engaged and stuff, but you've poked your head up and said things a few times. So it's so that's my problem. I don't like the Johnny come lately thing. Now you're just a celebrity who comes out and says some things. Now the things he was saying was true, and the way he was delivering it was incredibly important because it was making this stuff make sense, right? It's like he's selling you stuff. He didn't just come around and say, talking about the Patriot Bible with Trump's name on it. He said, no, this is a president of the United States that is literally trying to sell you stuff. He walks you down the line of the silly things that you're being sold like an infomercial, and then ends it with the Bible. So even someone who is trying not to hear him, if they hear the words, they're forced to do that simple math. So that's a gift. his writers and himself, talented. I just at this stage is not going to move anything. So what he's really trying to do is just get people that are inclined to go vote to make sure you do go vote. Okay, so my quick statement for those of us who live in Georgia, early voting starts on Tuesday. So go ahead and get your vote in early because you know what they're trying to do with us and our voting, trying to make stuff hand counted and all of that. So voting day is going to be a hot mess. So go ahead and get your vote in and get it recorded now. But yeah, so I like his delivery. I typically like his delivery. I don't like his speech pattern, but that's a little thing with me. But I think he did a great job speaking. I don't know. That's the best I got on him.
Let me say this real quick, and then I'll give it to you, Anna. I like Obama's speeches. I always did. I mean, it was Obama is one of the. I can sit there and listen to Obama's speech, except for one thing that still bugs me about it, but that's Obama. And I hate sloganeering. I can't stand it. I understand why you do it.
What's sloganeering? I'm not good with the term.
When you have to put certain things together, don't boo, vote.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it gets
like
yeah, I was a little like I'm a boo because that's what you've set up.
No, but that's exactly why he does it that way, as you were saying. And I to me, the sloganeering is part of the game. So I guess that's why it doesn't bother me.
I get it because it gives you a small snippet of something that you know you can remember.
Right. Which the Republican side is very good at. They give you 4-word slogans that you just know. That's why when you talk to a Trump supporter, all you get is a series of sound bites thrown back at you. You know, but I feel you, bro.
But I'm just over it. So but what makes this so easy when he talks about Trump is, and what I wanted the Democrats to do now, starting in Congress too, is you ain't got to do nothing. You just let that man talk, let that man live, and you make sure you tell everybody all the stuff Trump does and says. See, the Republican Party has to convey fear. And the country is in a worse decline since whatever. And crime is up since whatever. And we are so separated as a country since whatever. It doesn't matter because they don't have to prove anything. When it comes to talking about Trump, the proof is already made because he's the one that's doing it. I mean, the man has an issue with tweeting. Everything ain't got to be yelled, bro. We're reading this. You ain't got to sell like you do an info commercial every time you wake up. I didn't even know about the $100,000 watch, so that's new to me. But
and they're not even getting to people.
Yeah, if you can't afford the 100,000 watches, there is a $50,000 version for the regular people.
Yay!
And the shoes.
Let me just open my wallet.
The shoes.
I don't have 50,000 lying around.
Yeah, but you ain't supposed to, Anna, because that's the bargain.
Right.
That's the bargain.
This is a once in a lifetime thing. Now, first of all, the $50,000 watch is so that the average American can have access to this. So just refinance your house, get that equity, and get this watch. Now, unfortunately, for those of you who don't know, the $50,000 watch, these magical Trump watches, they're not limited. So they can always make more at any given time. It's the $100,000 watch that is limited. So if you buy that one, they're not going to make any more unless they change their mind. So it's just wild. The whole point to me was really solid when he was like, who is selling? What other president in history is selling you something right? Like,
have you seen the shoes?
yeah, I saw the shoes.
Those the what's? Oh my! There
They were
was
supposed to appeal to us because black people like shoes.
you failed.
I bet all his actual black supporters who are high middle class, because you at that point where, generally speaking, a black Republican are usually people who are now voting their wallet and not their people. So they usually have some money and they will pay to appear like they have more money.
Okay.
It's an image game. Never gonna put the shoes on.
Okay. I like the part where Obama talked about how Trump was taking credit for his economy. No anger translator needed.
You see, that's another game that they play, though. All of them. Right? The first 2 years of any president's administration, in my opinion, is not even their economy. It's whoever the economy was before. Because it takes about 2 years for your policies to start moving. But then the thing is, you don't even control financial policy. The Fed controls monetary policy. So, and you purposely are hands off with the Fed. So the president is blamed for bad economies and he's praised for good economies, and he had very little to do with either one of them.
Yeah.
I understand. But then again, we are more deeper in politics than most people. But I still always say, name the last president that oversaw a good economy.
Last Republican.
Last Republican. And I think it was Eisenhower.
I mean, Bush oversaw a good economy until he crashed it. Trump oversaw a good economy until COVID destroyed it. I mean, you know, and see, that's the case to be made for Trump, but they can't make it this way because it shows his weakness. Trump, if he was a more traditional politician, could use, hey, we had some rough times during my economy, but it was on the upward trajectory. And then COVID came and no one could do anything about COVID. It crashed the whole world. But you can't say that because his ego is too big. So instead, he just pretends all 4 years were great, even though they weren't.
No, the economy was taking a downswing before COVID.
Because of his tariffs and his trade wars.
The poor farmers.
Which he has said multiple times, he's going to do even more tariffs.
Right.
He said that.
He said he's going to finish what he started. And if you understand what he started, you don't want him to finish that.
Oh. And there is going to be another tax cut.
Well, that's anytime a Republican, that right there, you know, it's funny. Republicans they carry the bag on this because they're the ones who always propose it. But the Democrats always help pass it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's like a bargain that the two of them have worked out as like a sharing agreement. This is where independents and third parties, one of the reasons they get so irritated with the duopoly, as Tracy says, is because there are agreements between these two groups. Okay. They are sharing power. They're like, okay, well, you in it this time, I'll get it next time. Right. But they both pass tax cuts. They both do it because that's what the masses want.
Right.
Brian Daniels, he's on the Breakfast Club.
I can't stand that dude on.
I have no idea who that is.
That's the black dude from Florida.
No, I've never watched the Breakfast Club, so you could tell me.
I don't watch the Breakfast Club.
You could tell me his address, and I wouldn't know who the heck he is. So
do you know who Byron is? If you saw him, you would be like, "Oh, that guy." He's a black dude out of Florida. He's the bootlicker, sellout. I'm gonna use all them terms on this dude because that's what he is.
Wow.
But he's the one that's jockeying to be as close to Trump as possible, not because he agrees with Trump, but because he's made the decision that this is how you get close to power. He wants to be a senator.
Okay, go ahead and hook your wheels up to Trump. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our last story of the night. We're going to go ahead and move on to the update on, you just muted yourself and then talk.
I'm muting myself because I keep talking. But I was
Oh.
saying, you said this is the last video of the night. And I was like, oh, we're done.
Last video of the hour. Last video of the hour. But thank you for correcting me, sir. Last video of the hour, we're going to get the update on Hurricane Milton. Going to see some pictures. This is not the up-to-date death toll, which I'm going to have to look up, or somebody can look it up for me. I would appreciate it, but let's go ahead and get into it. Hurricane Milton.
Yeah, Irene, John, we knew this was going to be a bad one. It took less than 8 hours to cross the Florida peninsula. The storm now heading out into the Atlantic Ocean as a Category 1 hurricane. Now, deaths have been confirmed specifically in St. Lucie County. That is on on Florida's Atlantic coast. We just got some new video in. This shows right here search and rescue crews working right now to rescue residents from their apartments in Clearwater, Florida. That is near Tampa. It is unclear how many people need to be rescued, but that operation underway this morning from that second floor of the apartment complex you can see. When Milton made landfall, it was a Category 3 storm with 120-mile-per-hour winds. Part of the roof of Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays, it actually ripped off in this storm. And take a look here in St. Petersburg, a construction crane came crashing down after authorities, they had warned that there wasn't enough time to secure it. Even before the storm made landfall, an outbreak of tornadoes cut across the state. Officials reported the most warnings in a single day on record, nearly 120. 19 were confirmed, leaving homes destroyed, numerous areas reporting damage as well. Even a 10,000 square foot sheriff's facility in St. Lucie County was destroyed. Listen here to one man and how his family survived.
We all started going for the hallway, didn't even make it there in time. Started and I heard a piece of glass crack and sucked the whole roof off, and I felt the thing suck me up, and I grabbed my kid and my wife and hunkered down.
Our deputies are out here. The fire district is out here. We're going through the rubble. We're trying to provide recover anybody that we can, provide whatever help that we can.
The predicted storm surge up to 13 feet, flooding densely populated areas along the coast, including Fort Myers. On top of all of that, it's left more than 3 million homes and businesses without power. The governor says 9,000 National Guardsmen have been mobilized to respond to the storm, along with 1,400 search and rescue first responders. All of that underway this morning. Milton is the third hurricane to make landfall in Florida this year, and that does tie a record. In more than 150 years. It's only happened 5 other times. John, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and this one was a direct hit. Okay, Mark, thanks.
Okay, what I got from this, so I appreciate it. The currently the death toll is at 17 confirmed, but death toll was 250 plus. So, these storms, and this is just me talking, I can look it up, but I'm not trying to be hyperbole. It just seems like every year it gets worse, and every year it's more, and every year they get stronger. And it's just so heartbreaking to be in your home that you paid for, that you cut the grass of, that you paid the mortgage of, that you declared the way you wanted to be, where you raised your family, to just overnight is gone. It's just, that's what's so heartbreaking to me. I don't want to imagine that. I would never, ever want to deal with something like that. But here we are, yet another year, still talking about a storm behind a storm. A hurricane that was just behind a hurricane. Like, you haven't even cleaned out your house from the first hurricane. And I ain't trying to be funny when I say this, but in time you think, why would I? We got another one we got to deal with in 2 more weeks. So what's the point of doing anything now?
Try and store your home up, whatever is left, against the next one. One of the things I find most endearing, and I have friends in Florida, they're telling me that, yes, there's damage to their homes, their streets, their infrastructure. Yes, things are dreary. But amidst all that, within this little world where there is interrupted cell service, no internet, no power, sometimes no water, the people are coming together. And it doesn't matter who you're going to vote for. It's, are you okay? Does anybody need help? These stories are coming out more and more, and that's, I mean, you can get completely devastated on the destruction. For the most part, I don't hear that. I hear people saying, I'm alive. It's they know things will go back to the way that they were. But for right now, people are walking around not head in a phone, but eyes are up and making contact, and people are waving at, like, it's incredible that it would take a natural disaster for this to remind us. That aside, yes, this is going to get more frequent. We are going to have storms of the decade every couple years. We're going to have an every couple year storm at least every year. Temperatures are going to go up. We're going to break records continuously until we reach the apex. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't do a whole lot of work towards climate change when there was time to do something. Now we're reacting. That is a very sad truth, but I don't know, that little bit of people remembering some common courtesy, and I cling on to that because that's community that I know, that I invest myself in. That is the country that I want to believe we are, and that I keep working towards. So I will hold that tight.
But isn't that always something that America does?
That's what people do.
It's a human condition.
What people do.
Mm-hmm.
After every tragedy, but I can only talk about America because I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
9/11.
Mm-hmm.
We came together as a country until we did.
Kind of.
Yeah, for a week we was God bless America.
No, I'm not talking about the patriotism. I'm I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but I do remember it just lasted a week because as soon as
patriotism lasted a while. It's just dark because the rally around the flag was against anybody Muslim.
Yeah.
Like, we were given
that
an
was
enemy,
not.
and America was able to rally around a shared enemy. But I get what you're saying. But you're right; it is a human thing to get together. And I'm glad I'm going last because y'all did the human side of it, and I do agree with all the human aspects. I have a few caveats, but I'm not even going to touch them right now. I'm going to be the one who comes in with some stuff that folks just don't want to kind of look at because it's boring or, it's just not convenient to the overall story. Climate change. Climate change is real. You can't pretend that all the things we do as humans as the dominant life force on the planet is not affecting the planet. However, if you stop and look at the actual science, what we're doing is that much as it relates to what the planet's doing. All the pollution we do, all of the greenhouse gases, all of that barely scratches the surface of what the world is doing. Right. So I invite people to go in and look at how the Earth's relationship to the sun and its movement affects it all. Okay. Because the Earth automatically sits at a tilt. That's why we have different seasons in different parts of the world. The tilt moves very slowly, very incrementally, because it takes like millions of years for it to really get like a good 2-3 degrees change. But for our lives, it doesn't take much to disturb what we require to be stable, right? So we are in a astrological season where the sun is affecting the earth in such a way that we do have warmer temperatures in different areas than we did before, where you're having the ice caps melt because of how the sun is interacting with the planet, right? So I want people to put more things into the pot, okay? Because there's a lot of things going on that we have no control over, but if we would face it and we would acknowledge the science, then we could possibly plan better. My concern is all the energy, because it's easier to sloganeer and it's easier to like put money behind, is behind the pollution and the natural and the greenhouse gases, which are important. If you can stop polluting, stop polluting. We live here, right? But you look at these hurricanes, and each year, what do we do in Florida? We build more things, we cut more things down, we create land where there shouldn't be land, we artificially close sinkholes, which is the crust's way of adjusting itself to the differences in the water and the pressure and everything else. We are artificially affecting the landmass. Well, when you do that, you affect currents, you affect the winds, you affect a lot of things. And when a hurricane comes, it has less obstruction, it's moving through things in a different way. We are actually aggravating some of our own issues due to the way we think we can impact the world versus how the world responds back to us, right? So I often hear people talking about the hurricanes are more constant, they're more prevalent. No, actually, they're not. They are getting stronger. But that, in my opinion, in the opinion of a lot of scientific community, is more due to the astrological thing than it is to what we're doing. But we should still do what we can to do better, right? There's no sense in aggravating a situation, but that's what we do. All right, so I pulled up this thing real quick, running through it. 1900 to 1949. 108 tropical cyclones. For those who don't know, tropical cyclone is just, we call them hurricanes. All right, so 108 in that 50-year period. 1950 to 1974, 85. Okay, so that's half the time. 85 hurricanes. 1975 to 1999, 83. 2000 to present, what did I put on here? 79. Okay, so we're kind of steady as far as how many hurricanes are hitting Florida, but they're getting stronger. And they're getting stronger, and I would feel, because of how we are developing and our refusal to accept reality. Right? We want to live on the beach, so we go live on the beach. Well, the earth has something to say about that. Right? You know, so that's just something I think is important. I know I couldn't say anything about this like last week because it's too soon. Everything's always too soon, and I get it. The human side is real. People are losing lives, property, their whole world turned completely upside down. And I feel like the government is really failing its people, but its people is failing the government because we determine what the government does. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. You know, the Debbie Downer of the group, doing what I do. But I'm like, hey, let's throw some extra information in there so that we can understand some other factors. So we're not carried away by the rhetoric, right? Because the rhetoric will have you obsessed about windmill farms and solar panels and electric vehicles because we need the Green New Deal. And if we do the Green New Deal, everything will be better. No, we need the Green New Deal because it makes sense. It makes sense for where civilization is moving. It makes sense to do less harm, but it ain't going to fix what the earth is doing, in my humble opinion. Well, not so humble.
You're not humble. But let's go ahead and move on. Be humble-ish. Let's go ahead and move into the second hour because we are jam-packed. Like I said, we have a very special Am I the A-hole? Keep that in mind. That's a hint. A real or not, a positive story of the week, a mafia video of the week, and of course, Foxy's video of the week. 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I always stay dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally,
are back, and before we even get started, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to Tracy's patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliAndCetera.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please support Theas at OurUnitedCore.com. Communities build movements. And if you need to reach me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. Let's go ahead and get into the Mama Heart Hour. A special note, Theas already said about early elections in Georgia, North Carolina's earlier next elections is next Thursday. Next Thursday. Yeah, I will get the early voting over and done with, which surprisingly enough, I can't speak for North Carolina, but Charlotte is very good at early voting. I mean, the numbers are really high when it comes to early voting, especially when it comes to the presidency. But we're also talking about North Carolina, in which the governorship is up. So I do expect the numbers to be very high during early votings. But in case you didn't know, in North Carolina, that is next Tuesday. That's the 17th, I think it was.
Thursday for you. This coming Thursday.
Next Thursday for me is the 17th. In Georgia is the 15th, next Tuesday. So please get out there, make your voices heard, let it be heard early and soon. So, yeah. I like hearing sensible people make sense. Second hour, and now to something completely different. Yeah, we're gonna go something different. But anyway, special Am I the A-hole?
Special.
All right, so let's get into it. I'm not even going to play around with it. It is a two-parter, just to let everybody know. A heartwarming video of my friend.
Hey there, it is Dusty Thunder once again with another Reddit story for you. This one is Am I the Astronaut for posting a heartwarming video of my friend. I, female 26, have a friend who I will call Max, male 28, who has a foster child, Dexter, male 10. Max is a foster parent and has fostered Dexter for the last 3 years. Max and I aren't super close, but his best friend is my sister, and Dexter is friends with my son. Basically, I don't fully understand the whole fostering thing, but from what I do get is Dexter has been upgraded from a temporary placement to a permanent placement with Max, though not adopted. Dexter will now not be moved away from Max and will not be given back to his real parents. Dexter requested this, but it had to be approved by the courts, which they weren't sure would happen because his real parents have been wanting Dexter back. Last week, Max got confirmation from the courts that Dexter had been made permanent. Max decided he wanted to throw a big surprise party for Dexter to announce this to him. Dexter came home from school and was shocked by everyone being there, and his reaction was super cute. Dexter was super confused as to why everybody was there, but Max told him that they just wanted to celebrate Dexter going into year 6. About halfway through the party, Max started to read out a whole speech. The speech was really sweet and emotional. It spoke about Dexter when he first came to live with Max, how he grew and developed from a small boy scared of the world into a charming and outgoing little man. And at the end of the speech, Max said how he had confirmation that Dexter is becoming permanent and will be living with Max forever, and said something like how he is so excited to be able to see Dexter grow up and into an adult. As soon as Max finished it, Dexter started to sob, ran to Max and said something like, "I thought you were going to say I had to leave." And then they just held each other. It was an incredibly cute moment. Now, I am an influencer. I do family content on TikTok. I have a decent following, not like crazy big, but enough. I felt really lucky to have caught the speech and Dexter's little, "I thought you were going to say I had to leave" on camera. And I edited it, which took me ages, and posted it to my TikTok page. It was one of my best performing videos, which made me really excited. I sent the link to Max to show him, and I thought he would be excited, but instead he went absolutely insane at me. He called me screaming and demanded that I take the video down, like he was scary on that phone call. I initially was hesitant to take it down because it was performing really well, but after an hour, I took it down because he said he was going to file a takedown request on my whole account and the video if I didn't remove it myself. Now, my son was invited to go watch a movie at the cinema on Saturday this week, but Max is now saying they won't be going unless they can pick up my son and me not attend, which will not happen. So Max is now excluding my son from meeting up with his friend, which is entirely unfair on my son. So the question was, am I the astronaut for posting a heartwarming video of my friend?
Yes. Yes, you were. Did you show the full face of the child? Probably. You put out really sensitive information. One of the most vulnerable times of that child's life. He thought he was being sent away. Again. Thank goodness it didn't turn out to be that. It was great bonding time. Why did you think of that for content?
We live in an era where nothing's private.
Yes, I know.
Like, share your business. Don't share somebody else's.
Right. And be really diligent about... Look, okay. So I had a conversation with my brother and sister-in-law. Would they ever mind if I had Andre in the video, who is a minor? My other nieces and nephews are of majority age. So, and we came to an agreement of it would be okay, very rare, and as long as you didn't show his face. Okay. That was a full discussion. I would never take something, like, I would also show anything, if I had Andre in it, I would show that, at least to my brother. I don't get to see my sister-in-law as often. It would be approved. Or not. Because it's their business. The child is a minor. I don't particularly like the I don't like how much of a thing it is to include children in your videos. I get it when it's about parenting. No. In this case, yeah, you didn't think all the way through, and you got upset. Now, should that extend to your son not being, do you not trust your son with Max? In that case, like, I understand the whole, if I can't come, then my son's not coming, but there is an adult there. I just... This is a stupid thing between her and Max. And I feel bad that the kids are getting in it. But she dragged them in.
Yeah, I'm like, there's like this evolution, right? So I think it's unavoidable where we're headed and where we are. Because, before it was you took a picture and you put it in your photo album. Then you would do slideshows, and then you would have like, hey, let's watch the family vacation. You had the little picture slideshows going. For those who could afford that, this part did not hit my family. Picture albums did, but the slideshow, we ain't had that.
No.
But then we had camcorders, and you used to see people walking around with camcorders.
We didn't.
Now we have the mobile phone, so
but now we do.
See that. And now we're in the social media age. So we have that. So privacy, the way that we've known it, will never be the way that we knew it ever again.
No.
But all that aside, there still should be common decency, right? And decency dictates not even the fact that this is a minor. It dictates that this is a truly family moment, that you were considered enough of family to partake in.
Mhm.
And you violated the trust. It wasn't an express trust. It was an implied trust. It's an inherent trust. And a lot of times, especially for content creators, you have to be even more cognizant because your mind is wired different. Your mind is wired on content, and you were looking at the feedback you were getting on this video and being like, wow, look how great you and your son did in this beautiful moment. That's how you were processing it. Look what y'all did, and I helped the world see it. And so you were not looking at enough of a distance to realize your social media had no business sharing anything.
No.
Right? If you wanted to share anything, it would have been you talking about the situation without any names involved. Because now you're sharing an experience that you were a part of, but you're not putting them into it like that. The moment you put that out there like that, you have destroyed a lot of the heartwarming, I don't know how to put it, but it's like there's some things that the world doesn't need to know, right? And the less the world knows, the more precious it is, to you.
Mm.
You violated that. Now the part about going to the movies, and he said, my son can go so long as I'm not going. So now my son's being excluded. That's not what happens, sir. Unless you are making it that. You are turning it into using the leverage that you have because you're offended that he was offended. So let's not pretend what you're doing here. If your child is the other child's best friend or close friend, and they're going to the movies, that tells me they're at least 6 years old. All right. So they're old enough to talk.
10.
Yeah. So at 10, even better. All right, these are
Right.
third and fourth graders. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even fifth graders. So they should be able to go to the movies unless you have some other type of objection. The only objection you have is that you are being excluded. That's all it is. You are being excluded. And it's related to this thing you don't agree with. So you are using your leverage and you're drawing a line in the sand, and you are depriving your child of being able to go. Because if this person doesn't like you right now, how does it help you to be in their presence? If you want this relationship to continue, you want to get through this moment, and on the other side of this, you go back to being friends, how does it help you? How does it help what you're after? To force yourself into a situation, it doesn't make sense. Because I don't like people like that. And Parker pointed it out. It was like you still aren't seeing it because you're so me. And you're not seeing that you're the problem.
and Susan pointed out, and I was actually expecting a little bit of a right-hand curve with the biological parents would see the video. It's possible.
It's possible, but they can't do nothing.
Right. It's just they might be able to stir up some drama. And the child doesn't need that.
Yeah, because the birth parents had the opportunity to get him back.
Right.
So he went through the foster parent had this child for 3 years.
Oh my God! Now you're using my child for content.
Went through the process, right? So now, see, this is what I think. Like, as a parent, the way I would come at that anger, because I would have been angry too. It would have been more about. It wouldn't have been so much that you put my sensitive moment out there. It would have been, now everybody who didn't know my child was a foster child. Everybody who didn't know my child was adopted. For all they knew, just my child from day one.
Right.
You have now changed his identity out there.
Yeah.
So when he goes to school, he's that kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
where I would be the most incensed, because it's like, I have to navigate. I have to help my child navigate this, right? He's been with me for 3 years, yes, but now our relationship has shifted and we have to navigate this space. And you have just interrupted what I'm managing just for clicks. I don't care what somebody halfway around the world thinks is heartwarming about my situation. What I care about is my baby boy going to school and not being asked, so is that you on the video?
Right.
Okay, I am going to not say anything about this video because, like I said, it was a two-parter, but just to make it perfectly clear to anybody who may not, just to give you a little clue, maybe. These had to drop off, technical difficulties. But let it be known why I didn't say anything about the first video. But I am going to just go ahead and give you out the spoiler. The second video is not from OP. It's from the dad. And also the reason why I didn't say anything about it.
Max?
Max.
Okay, thank you.
Max has come on to say something about this post.
Cool.
Oh my God. OP is a fucking liar. Here we go.
Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with an update to the Am I the Astronaut for posting a heartwarming video of my friend. This is a response from foster dad Max. I'm Max, the person mentioned in this post. I wasn't planning on responding because honestly, posting about this again after being asked not to is incredibly immature. But I've had enough, and I think it's important to set the record straight so everyone can see how inconsiderate and careless you really are. First off, I've always been clear with anyone who meets Dexter that photos of him cannot be shared online without blurring his face. This isn't new information to you. I've explained it many times and even reminded you repeatedly after you've posted pictures of him uncensored on multiple occasions. My fostering agreement explicitly states that no uncensored images of Dexter can be posted online. Violating this could put my ability to foster him at risk. He could be taken away from me, and yet you continue to ignore this. I even reiterated these rules at the party, encouraging everyone to take photos, but under no circumstances were they to be posted publicly without prior censoring. You were told, once again, not to reveal his face or mention our exact location, including the city. But what did you do? You go ahead and post a video with Dexter's face completely visible, along with the city tagged as the location. I don't know whether you're just being willfully ignorant or deliberately trying to provoke me. I've been lenient far too many times because you're my best friend's sister, and Dexter enjoys spending time with your son. But this is the final straw. You've endangered Dexter and breached his privacy. I had to threaten legal action just to get you to remove the video, and it's not like you didn't know the risks. His biological parents have previously threatened to kidnap him, and your actions have put him in jeopardy. Now I'm scrambling to fix the situation with his social worker. The worst part is we don't know if it has been seen by his parents because it went so viral. Now, I'll admit I did lose my temper with you, but after so many warnings, I was at my limit. I hope you take the negative comments from Reddit to heart and really reflect on why you keep doing this. Your overwhelming need to always be the center of attention is damaging your relationship with friends and family. This isn't just about a cute video. It's about your lack of respect for others' boundaries and the impact of your actions. I genuinely think you should consider therapy to explore why you have this urge to prioritize your own needs for attention over the safety and privacy of others. Your son is still welcome at any future gatherings, but you'll need to arrange for him to be picked up by me or your sister. If you step foot on my property again, I will not hesitate to report you for harassment. Do not contact me again unless it's strictly regarding your son's arrangements with Dexter. I'm not responding again. I'll send you a link to this comment. Hopefully that will help you understand why you're such a tosspot.
Okay, so here we go. OP, you have been warned, as if you really needed to be warned, but you have been warned several times. Do not post my son's picture on your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, tweet. I don't care. Do not put his face on there. His biological parents have said, quote, I'm going to kidnap them. So not only did you show the face, you showed their location. So OP, I have to ask the question, do you want this type of danger? Because it seems like you're going out of the way to get this type of danger. I don't know what the hell your problem is. Are you just that desperate for some type of clicks? Do I have to sit here and tell you that no, I don't have to wait until you decide, is this video making good enough content before you take it off? Do I have to literally go legal for you to take the video off? Do I have to remind you that I have told you several times to not do this? You are acting like this is the first time it ever happened. No, you was warned several times not to do this. And several times you ignored it. On purpose. So, the hell with you. And it's strange that this is the part that you all know, or if you're new to the show, that you should not know. Don't ever fucking use a kid as a pawn. Because that dude said, I was going to take your kid. Even though I'm done with you, I will still take it. I will still deal with the child because he's free. And you still turn it around too. Well, that's out of the way, so now you're taking it out on my kid. Fucking you the one taking it out on your kid. That was your decision to make. So, Max, bravo. You're not coming back in my house, OP. Ever. Ever. You have proven to be a detriment to my household. You have proven that loud and clear. That you just cannot follow moral decisions, moral direction. But okay, let's take moral out of it. Fucking directions. Household directions. I'm not saying you can't take my son. I just said blur out his face. You literally could have that same moment. Blur out the face. But you went, don't feel like it. That's editing. That's too much. And by the way, do not even tell me that you couldn't edit the face out, because I heard that one part where you went, and it took a lot of work to edit this video. I heard you say that.
Yeah.
I heard you say that. So don't tell me it was so hard to blur the face out. You just didn't want to. You just didn't want to. Doesn't give that same human feeling if you just can't see the child's face. So you get more content that way. You got to see the face. And I didn't think about what this said, but this is absolutely correct. You know kids are cruel in school at a younger age. You know that. So now you don't double down on that. That ain't your real daddy. Your parents gave you away. Like,
I have one thing to say. When somebody presents you a boundary, they are trying to keep you in their life. If you cannot follow that, you are then getting closer and closer to the danger of no longer being in that person's life. When somebody presents you with a boundary, this is what they need to feel safe, this is what they need to do for their child, they're trying to keep you in their life. And honestly, if he said it several times, he's tried too much and should have cut you out before. This is ridiculous.
Just that one more chance. That one more chance. And you just kept pushing it and kept pushing it and kept pushing it. It is almost, and I don't even give a fuck about me being hyperbolic. I don't care. I ain't got to use fucking logic with you. I really don't. I don't, and I'm not. This is one of them things where I ain't gotta take the fucking high road with you. Because your road's so low, you wouldn't know what the hell a high road was anyway. You basically just said, rules for thee, not for me. So y'all can do whatever y'all want to, but you ain't talking to me. Because I got to get these likes. I got to get these clicks. And it's something in you, and not just you, OP. It is something in people during the pandemic until YouTube actually started cleaning up YouTube, and then they went overboard trying to clean up YouTube, and now they're doing a lot better now, thank goodness, even though but during YouTube, people was on YouTube saying the most foulest crap you have ever heard. Just garbage. And was getting away to it until YouTube cracked down. And then they went overboard with it. Well, radical truth to power, you cannot say anything about the couple who owns the bakery that wouldn't bake the cake for the gay couple because it was against their religion. Why I can't do that? Because it just seems like you're bullying. It's in the fucking newspaper. Where the hell you think I got the story from? Now it's a little even quote, so cool. Kudos. I said all that to say this. You are the pandemic version of YouTube. Where, hey, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to until I have a boundary I don't like. And the boundary was you're banned. And your response to that is, well, if you don't want me, you don't want my kid. It ain't got shit to do with this. It has nothing to do with this. He didn't take the video. He didn't break any boundaries. He's not putting the kid in danger. He's not potentially putting this child up to be ridiculed in school. That was you. But you're going to play the only leverage card you have left. And then what's going to happen with, well, you don't want me, you don't want my kid. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Doing my part. But that is your child. You make the final decisions. But I'm not going to trade my child for yours. OP, you foul. I'm sorry. You just and I want to try to find this one more time because Parker always said it better for me. I don't like how people phrase it at the end saying, am I the a-hole for posting a heartwarming video? Seems like they're avoiding the bigger problem, which was not asking the kid first. Yeah, because that's exactly how you structured your am I the a-hole. I was just putting a heartwarming video up. I was just trying to spread positivity. I'm sorry, I'm pulling a Theus. Sorry. Go ahead, Theus.
I got none. Y'all said everything. I'm good.
All right. I'm going to skip real or nah. I'm just going to come back to that. I am going to come back to real or nah. You got your earphones in?
Nope.
Positive story of the week. I'm trying my best not to play two negative stories back to back. It's Sunday. I'm not taking that into my work day. Let my work day do what it does. Little girl.
When I was much younger, I used to work at...
Sorry. Neurodivergent warning. There's a fireplace in the background. So either you're not going to like it or you'll fall asleep.
When I was much younger, I used to work as a server at a popular rotisserie chicken restaurant. It wasn't a fancy joint, being more of a fast food dine-in chain that made food that wasn't horrible but nothing special. I typically handled small booths and tables of 5 to 6 people each, but on this night I had my usual section plus an additional party of about 15 people to juggle all at once. The worst is when everyone in a large party orders some kind of specialty drink. One person wanting a mojito prepared a certain way or a double shot of this or that. This party ordered a ton of drinks, one of which was a Bloody Caesar ordered by an older gentleman. After delivering the order to the bar, I went about taking care of my regular tables and delivering the drinks and meals as they became available. After about 10 minutes, the Caesar wasn't ready, and I kept getting looks from the old man as I brought everyone else their drinks. Another 5 minutes goes by, and the drink still wasn't ready, despite my inquiries at the bar, and the old man points to his watch with a displeased look on his face. I apologized and made a beeline for the bar, where I asked the bartender to just make the drink before the old man blew a gasket, and I stood there waiting. As I waited, a young couple came up to the bar to pay for their dinner. They had a tiny little girl with them, about 4 years old, who came and stood right next to me as I waited. I paid little attention to them as I was stressing about my tables and the orders as they invariably piled up as I waited. When the drink finally arrived, I don't know if it was just stress, excitement, or a lack of attention and focus on my behalf, but I grabbed that drink with the force of 1,000 behemoths, causing the liquid in the glass to fly up and out and down all over the little girl's face standing next to me. Bloody Caesar all over this child's innocent little smile and yellow jacket. In slow motion, I looked down, realized what happened, looked up, saw the parents glare at me with a look of death that would rival Luigi's, and backed down to the child. I uttered something that sounded like an apology before running to the kitchen to grab some paper towels and back out again to give it to the parents, who looked like they were going to stab me with the nearest fork. But before they could act on their murderous thoughts, the little girl piped up and said, "Good thing I was wearing my rain jacket, huh, Daddy?" in the most charming and nonchalant way imaginable. The parents both laughed, their anger suddenly taken away by their daughter's adorable observation, and the father simply said, "Oh, Susie." They actually smiled at me as I apologized, and I felt my sudden fear vanish. I got that old effer is Caesar and couldn't have cared less about the way he stared at me or what he thought. It's just a drink, one of many drinks he'll have in his life. The little girl and her ability to break through the conventional reactions that adults have left me with a great memory and lesson, which is to never get stressed out, because even when bad things happen, there's always a positive perspective to be found.
Stories like this just always, I try to keep YouTube Reddit stories to a minimum, which is why I try putting positive stories up on the week, because I really am doing my best to not listen to these stories over and over and over again, 10, 20 stories a day, 7 days a week, and it just started to have these stories become part of the norm. Some stories, the I don't work here stories and everything else, I'm sorry, I have never had that issue before. Not once. I'm 52 years old. I ain't never had blue jeans and a cut-up T-shirt with a baseball cap on and my phone in it with a cart. Do you work here? What the fuck is wrong with you? I've never had that happen to me, but you hear it so many times because you wore a red shirt. All of a sudden, you work at Target. Never had this happen.
I have.
Really? Never had it happen to me once. I can go into Walmart with a blue shirt on. I never got to worry about somebody coming and talking about, do you work here? No,
Maybe you
man.
have a really good resting bee face.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's just when you're helpful, people, oh, okay, can you also do this? Okay, I can.
I've had that issue, but I never had that issue too. Can I be helpful? Sure, I will help you. I've never had the next person come up. Well, you help that person. Why you can't help me?
Well, I haven't had that one, but I've definitely had.
Right.
Because you coming up to me with a damn attitude. Well, I'm not helping you. Need you to give me 50 feet.
Yeah, I don't even think most of those stories are real, but yeah.
No, I don't either. I honestly don't. But anyway, my point was that it's just nice to have something that just the girl was cool with it. I mean, she may have been horrified at the beginning, but it's like, hey, shit, stuff happens. Hey,
This is the tastiest rain I've ever. What is a bloody Caesar?
I have
Never heard
no
of
idea. I've
Never heard of it either.
Sound like something I don't want.
I said the same thing, Diaz. I literally said the same thing. Like, I literally said that while the video was playing. It's like, the hell is a bloody Caesar? I know what goes into a bloody Mary. And if you put Caesar salad with what goes in the bloody Mary, you can have it.
It is considered Canada's national drink.
Really? Wow.
Vodka, clam juice, tomato juice, Worcestershire sauce, hot sauce, and spices.
No. Wrong. Ew.
I guess you just got to be there. It looks like a Bloody Mary, though.
Yeah, I guess. Another drink.
I think it's something strange when you drink a Bloody Mary. So, but this is
I
like a
don't
Bloody
know.
Mary with some other stuff in it. Not going to be something on my list.
Clam. Ew. Ew. Ew.
Well, if you live in Canada, you do as the Canadians do.
I have Canadian family. Never heard of this drink.
Yeah.
I've been in Canada many times. Never heard of this drink. Never had it. That's going to be news to a lot of Canadians.
And then the nation forgot. The nation said, what the fuck was we thinking? Let's put this shit to rest.
I didn't choose this.
I didn't choose this. Virgin Mary?
Isn't that like, the non-alcoholic version?
Bloody Mary without vodka, right?
Right.
Look, the ship that we came off of, their Bloody Mary is a meal. So they put like candy bacon on top of it. It's too much. I wonder if she posted this child on TikTok, Instagram.
It doesn't matter
they're saying,
online.
they're talking about not the adopted child. It's talking about, do you post your own child?
No, she said, I wonder if he posted his child on TikTok.
Right, but I'm saying when I was going through the story, because this is a delayed comment, I didn't realize that the OP was a woman.
Oh, okay.
The
right.
Pronoun.
I did. It was the sister of the best friend.
Anything but the alcohol. Yeah, it's a Bloody Mary without the vodka.
I'm not doing it.
Not the bacon.
I'm a fun person to drink with because I don't need much before I get a little bit tipsy. And basically I would drink like the top of the drink. Something like a Long Island iced tea.
Or anything. Got some punch to it now.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I don't need, but it meant to feel good. And then I don't need any more.
My wife, her idea of drinking is ridiculous to me because she can't she refuses to be able to taste the alcohol, which means you're just drinking some juice. You're drinking some Kool-Aid or some punch. That's what you're doing. Because if she can taste the alcohol, she don't want it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, help me
I
out.
like daiquiris and
she'll drink a daiquiri, but it has to be light on the alcohol.
Yeah.
Foxy thing is mojitos.
I've never had one of them.
I can take it. We drink, and I can't pronounce that word.
Clamato juice. Oh my God, I forgot about Clamato.
It's like
Look.
V8 juices.
V8. Oh,
it's like that, but it's all tomato, I think.
Yeah.
No, you like the Bloody Mary on the cruise.
My mother's family immigrated to Canada.
I'm not drinking it.
Yeah.
But I'm a basic drinker. I mean, give me some vodka and Red Bull, or cranberry and vodka, or
I don't go for it.
some straight whiskey.
How does it interact for alcohol and an energy drink? Like, what is that?
Don't do nothing. It's just a difference in the flavor. It's just the sweetness of the energy drink.
Okay.
Bubba Hart come with clam juice. Yeah, that's gross.
Hi, Mama Heart.
And
Good
hello,
to
Mama
have you.
Heart. Real or nah? Okay. If you
We weren't doing real or not.
Hmm?
I thought we were not doing real or not tonight.
No, I
Did
said
we?
I was skipping it because I didn't want to play back to back bad.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But I had to because I'm really clean up. I put more content to save for the show that I actually play on the show.
Mhm.
So we're going to see it this year, Anna. But let's just say I have content that's been in my box for 2 years now because I keep forgetting to play it. So yeah. But this story, if you're just coming in and tuning in, thank you, by the way. I truly appreciate it. The video last night, like this show is really, really get up there. Last night's show got 90 views. So that's good.
Yeah, that's very good for a live show.
I would tell you we used to pull in about a good 20. Now we're at 90.
Well,
thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I really truly appreciate it. Also, we're at 679 subscribers. So we picked up subscribers during the show last night. We picked up subscribers after the show. We picked up subscribers today.
Just let them keep coming, bro. Just let them keep coming. You're doing good. It's consistent. It's cool. But we don't need nobody every 2 new subscribers. Hey, thank y'all. Call your friend. Share the video. Let them know. It's great. Get them in. We started 8 on Sunday, and we started 9 on Saturday. Come on. Let's do this. Catch us live. When we talking live. We'll do it live. I'm sorry.
You will miss some things if you don't catch the live version. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I am breaking the videos down throughout the week. I'm time stamping. I think Anna was like, could you please timestamp the videos? And again, so I have started time stamping the videos. I'm not consistent with when it comes out, but I am doing it. So that will help.
That dude. This dude work hard, y'all.
So I am keeping that flow going where I'm just making it easy on everybody because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if I come across a video like I'm doing it now, some of the videos that I like, showing on the show, and they do 3 hours of it, I'm like, yeah, no. Just to get one story out of that, like, no. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody listen to the story. If you're new to the show, the deal is Real or Not is basically still a Reddit story. And Theus was the one who got me to do this because Theus was the one who said about the most bullshit story I heard in my life. So I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. Should I make a story? Should I make a Real or Not in which is the story real or is it fake? Now, that out the way. Is this story real or is this story fake? But I'm going to put a caveat in it. If this story is real, this is the most cringy
I will eat my hat.
Shit, that shit crazy story I've ever put on this doggone show. And if you've been on this show for the last 5 years, you know we put some stories on it just like, I hope this fake because this is terrible. But this beats the cake. So let's go ahead and just get into it.
My mother-in-law suddenly passed away in a car accident last month. At the same time, my stalker disappeared. My mother-in-law and I never had a good relationship. She's tried to sabotage my relationship with my husband since the day that she met me. I just wasn't good enough for her handsome and successful boy. I contemplated ending my relationship several times, but my husband always showed that he's on my side, and I love him. A few years ago, I started getting very threatening and scary emails from this person named Pax. This Pax knew everything about me. It didn't matter how many emails and phone numbers I changed. They or he always found me. I made several police reports, but nothing happened. My husband tried everything to trace the emails, but nothing came of it. This past year, I basically never left the apartment alone. I haven't received a single threatening text or email from Pax in a month. After a few days, I wasn't surprised. It felt like, deep down, I'd always known that it was my mother-in-law. My husband hasn't reacted yet. He's consumed with his grief, and I don't want to bother him, especially when he bitterly told me, "You must be very pleased now," when he heard the news, and I tried to comfort him. He later apologized and said that he was just feeling guilty that he loved and chose me more than he loved her. Now, I'm waiting for him to connect the dots. Will he get it? If he does, will he talk to me about it? I don't know if I can ever bring it up to him. Then, 1 month later, OP posted an update. Last time I posted, I was trying to get advice about whether or not to tell my husband who was mourning her. I decided to wait a little, but after venting here, I was sure that she was my stalker. I started living like I never had before, with 10-minute walks alone, then 15-minute walks alone, then half-hour walks alone, and so on. At first, my husband didn't notice my freedom, or maybe he did, but was just processing it himself. Last Friday, I told him I was going out with the girls. Alone? Yes. Want me to drive you there? No need. Aren't you afraid anymore? No, my stalker won't bother me again. He kissed me and wished me a nice evening. When I came home around midnight, he was still up. He said that he wanted to talk to me. He asked me if he thought that his mother was my stalker, and I said yes. He broke down crying. He said that he's always suspected her and even talked to her a couple of times about it, and she made him so guilty by accusing him of being a simp, basically. He said that he noticed how after so many years of fear and anxiety, I stopped eventually crying in my sleep, and he's noticed that I haven't woken him up for about a month now. I actually don't remember half the time that I woke him up in terror, but he always told me and my therapist about it whenever it happened. He apologized for never discussing it with me, and for never protecting me from his family, even though he had his suspicions. Honestly, I'm not even mad or disappointed. If the cops couldn't help me, I don't know how much my husband could have done, and I just want to move on and leave this behind. We're going to start couples therapy, and my husband is planning to tell his family that my mother-in-law was my stalker. He's adamant about it, and I think that it's a good idea. My husband has also decided not to attend the headstone setting on my mother-in-law's grave.
Okay, if this is real, because there's a lot of weird situations in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If this is real, then it's just real weird. It's really the best I can kind of give, because I'm like, that means your mother was like, she understood technology pretty good,
right?
I wonder what her professional background was. You messed around and married a super spy son. Married. We're gonna find out mom was a part of the CIA. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Can't really relate to any of this, but it's like she passed away and she's gone now. I'm not understanding the additional stuff. Like we're gonna go to tell the family that it was my mother-in-law. For what? What
yeah, why?
What does that do? What does that do? It just therapists tell you to do that? That's the only way I can say that makes any sense. Why are you?
I don't even think of, because why? What would that accomplish?
I don't know. I mean, because all you're gonna do is open up issues for a bunch of people who don't know they have issues. So,
right?
Yeah, I don't get that part. But
I get what I get what he tried. I wouldn't do it. That's not what I'm saying. Why? So if that look off your face, I'm not saying I would do that, but I get why he would do something like that, because what he's trying to do with a lot of other people try to do is, I don't want y'all to think that my mom was that great of a mom or that great of a person and everything like that. It's like,
I don't understand people like
I
that.
get that's what he's trying to do, but it's like, dude, it's done. I mean,
yeah, I don't understand people who do stuff like that, because I'm like,
I don't get it myself.
You can go talk to your therapist, because even though your mother's gone, your image of her has now been tainted, so you need to work through that.
Right.
But one, you still don't know for a fact it was your mom. It's still circumstantial.
Right.
Pretty good odds it's your mom, but it's still circumstantial.
Mm-hmm.
Saying it to other people, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you, doesn't help them.
Yeah.
I
don't get it.
It's not going to erase what has happened.
Yeah, it's like that's just weird to me. Like, I get it if, like, I don't know. Because, like, for example, you got a family member. Let's say that you found out that your grandfather was abusive, and so, that colors your view of this person that you used to know as a kid. You had a really positive image of him, and now you know that he was an abuser. There could be a reason why you still need to know that, right? Because there's family history in here. You need to know where some of your behavior traits are coming in. You need to know, how this affected your mom or your dad or whoever was the children, right? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You do that with your kids and your spouse, right? Like that line, because you're trying to, be informed. You don't go to your cousin. I just don't, but I don't know the story. Like I said, I think this is a story that really could be real. It's just going to be out there.
It's out there. I told you, this is one of the most, oh my God, stories I've ever heard. Kind of trying to come up with adjectives. Oh my God. OMG, LOL. Anyway, Anna. LOL.
GTOFH.
Okay, I'm real or not? I'm gonna go with real. I have heard enough stories of mothers who can't let go of their baby like that, and they can't let them grow up. And for them to have a partner, somebody who might know that person in a more intimate way than the mother knows, it's a direct threat. Perceived, but there it is. It's pretty good odds, considering a death happens and stalking stops. Yeah, it's pretty amazing that she knew how to get into hacking and I don't know, stuff that, like, my parents are always relying on me to do stuff to, like, the phone stopped. Anna! It's out there, but believable to me. I'd understand why people would say no, because that's too far.
Okay,
There's crazy people out there.
Let me stop you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Only because of this. It's the technical expertise that make me say not real.
Okay.
I think I missed something myself. Did she? The only thing she got was texts and emails, right?
Yes.
How technical of an expertise do you need to be able to do that?
Well, you're making. I think it's because it comes with implied assumptions, right? So you're thinking, all right, so these people are married, so then let's say they're in their 20s, so then their parents are probably going to be in their 50s. So you're just making an assumption that they're not going to be as technically proficient. But the thing is, if you know how to get a Google number, you know how to get an artificial number. If you go get a burner phone, you can go do that.
It's not being able to track that one number.
But like I was saying, if go to a department store, I mean, like a Target or something, buy 5 burner phones. It costs you $100, and now you got 5 different phone numbers, and nobody knows what that number goes back to, unless they really got access to it. And a civilian is not going to have an easy time tracking that back. And then email addresses. I mean, you can create new email addresses.
Anybody can do that. Yes. That is not hard.
I apologize, Anna.
The cops didn't take it serious. That's one thing. Like, they're saying the cops couldn't. I don't think it's that the cops couldn't. It's just the cops wouldn't. Like, how serious the threat has to be for the police to do something. Like, they don't have the resources. So you can go in there and be like, "Hey, I'm being harassed and I have a stalker. Have they approached you? No. Have you seen them? I don't know. Has anyone harmed you? Not yet. Okay. We'll put our best agent on it, ma'am."
And just it's a bit of a pushback on that is just a smidgen. I don't think that they did not look into it. I just don't think they would put a huge amount of expertise into it. Like, hey, what's the number? Like, you talk about a burner phone. Man, what's the number that it was called from? Here's the number. Trace. Can't get it. Sorry.
I mean, they're not going to tell you any of that. They're just going to say it's a sign. Yeah. I mean, we got women across, not even just women and men, but it's most disproportionately affects women across the country that, like the woman who's just, taken out in the parking lot after finally getting a divorce from the guy that she had kept saying, this man is trying to kill me. Yeah. And he got her in the parking lot, right? So it's restraining orders. They say they need a credible threat. They don't even know who to put the restraining order on in this case. So that's one tool they can't even employ.
Right. And it's not a great tool.
They don't have anything they can do. I'm just saying, like, that's just nothing they can do. And it sucks. But it's kind of like, what would you have them do? Right? They're not going to go get the FBI involved. They're not going to go and reach out to Interpol and start trying to scrub the internet for you. It's not going to do that. So it's tough.
And I wouldn't want them to be bullies and go.
Yeah, do you want them doing what it would take to find you?
No.
Of course, if the election goes completely away.
I was the one who interrupted you, so go ahead. Thought.
I'm sorry?
Anna was the one I interrupted to get that point about technology and everything. So go ahead and finish what your thought was.
I don't think I had a whole lot more. I'm blanking now. So no, not much.
Well, so everybody's determined that it's real now. Anna said it was real. This says it's real. Possible.
Well, let's go with real. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So This says it's real. Parker says it's not real. Susan said it's not real. So
tiebreaker.
Possible.
Man, that's a non-answer.
Hey,
JD, that is a damning non-answer, sir.
You got to ask me 4 more times, sir. You got to ask me 4 more times before you can say anything, and you only ask me once.
I'm just saying.
Oh, crazy. No, Foxy. Leave it to Foxy.
Hmm?
Is it real or not real?
Oh.
I couldn't hear.
I don't know.
I want to say, is this possible? Is this thing possible? It's a little far fetched to me. Does the mother? I need more information. Like, does the mother-in-law work? Or does she just have this kind of time on her hand? That's the part that's getting me.
She did now.
A Gmail. Do that at night.
She could have had a really good computer access at work.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we never know anybody's background. This lady could have been a computer science engineer. She could have been any type of, or she could be, an expert gamer. She was a retirement age gamer, and she knows computer stuff inside and out.
Could be.
You have to deflect and ask the reporter a question if you are JD Vance, as if the reporter's opinion is relevant. No, the report I was picking on this because the last report of JD Vance, when a reporter asked him 5 times, did Trump lose the last election, and all 5 times he deflected. So Thea's only asked me 1 time.
Well, I was referencing the debate.
Oh no, that's the new reporter. Reporter asked JD Vance 5 times during a interview, did Trump lose the 2020 election?
But that's what politicians do. I mean, I saw Kamala, a woman had asked her in a town hall, are you going to do anything that would strengthen the healthcare of immigrants coming in? Her parents were from Mexico. She was born here. Parents came here like when they were 18, 19, worked all their lives. The mother never got her status, so she never got good health care. And basically, Kamala, she completely skirted the question and was just like, you remember your mother as she lived.
But she can't answer that question, because I'll give you my answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? Strengthen the medical, what medical insurance or access for people who are here undocumented?
For people coming into the country.
I don't owe them any medical anything.
Sorry.
So they can go to the emergency room like everybody else. But what are we talking about? What program are we supposed to be giving someone who's here in a non-legal status, whatever the right terminology is? I ain't giving her nothing.
I'm sorry, Theus. I'm on your side with this. Why would I set up a program for illegal immigrants?
That's not how we do things.
States?
No.
That's what you're asking. That's really lazy. I'm sorry. I don't need to be insensitive. That's literally what you're asking. For the United States to have a better medical
system for immigrants.
No. You can go to the emergency room. Because that's where you get indigent care. You can go to the emergency room. I'm not putting you on Medicaid. I'm not putting you on Medicare. I'm not putting you on a health care plan. You still need to have laws. We just need to improve what the laws are and be more logical with it. It shouldn't take 10 years to get a green card. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's not the solution. The better solution is, how do we get someone who got here illegally? How do we get them into some form of a queue so that they can begin the process of legalization, right? You came here illegal.
She was in that process.
All right. I'm sorry?
She was in that process.
Right. Well, I don't know. We don't truly have that process. Because you got here illegally, you still got to wait this whole, at minimum, it's like 10 years. It's ridiculous, right? You were here forever trying to get citizenship in America. If she didn't have her legal status, what am I giving her? Because it doesn't sound like she had a green card.
I am not sure. I didn't hear illegal. There was nothing.
What was the question then that you said? Because I'm going off of how you said it, because I didn't hear that interview or that town hall.
Right. She basically laid out her family's story, that her mother was still going for citizenship at the point she died.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to remember this.
They need to fix that entire process, but Congress refuses to do it because it's a political football they both benefit from. But just so lifting it just into the immigration aspect of it, you don't have your green card or a work permit, you are not supposed to be here, right?
I think she had the permit. Okay, so I am now kind of extrapolating and not sure. I had the feeling that it was like I can be here for work. I can be that I want to become a citizen.
Right.
And that was in the works.
Yeah, and you can and not to sound too insensitive, you can want anything you want in this world.
Sure.
You are not that thing, right? You're not a citizen. You do not get the things that citizens get. Like there's value to being a citizen to whatever nation that you're in. And then so you're not an established citizen. So now how do I become a citizen, right? Some countries is you got to invest $250,000 and then you can apply for your temporary citizen status and then become a full citizen. Some people, you just got this time. There's a lot of different ways to get into it. In America, you got to pass a test at the end of the day, right? Yep. America has a process. Right or wrong, broken, fixed, whatever it is, it's still the law. You got to work with it, right? So if you got here, I don't blame you for coming here illegally. I don't blame you for that. I'm saying you're here, though, you don't get to jump the line. Sorry.
I'll see if I can find it to see if I can pull out more.
Yeah, I want to revisit this topic. I want to know exactly how that was stated.
How the question was asked.
I don't want to have an answer to something that I don't have complete context to.
Right. Which is why I'm lifting it away from this individual, because if you couch it in the position of healthcare for an immigrant, that doesn't exist. That's not a thing, right? If you're saying what kind of healthcare you get as a citizen, then we can have that whole debate. But unfortunately, if you're in that limbo, right, you're trying to get your citizenship or you're not eligible for citizenship, but you're here, those are statuses that don't get certain things. It's just, in fact, that, you accepted that as part of the equation because it was worth that to have whatever you perceive to be a better opportunity or situation, right? I just think we need to make it a lot easier for people to gain their citizenship because there's plenty of room in this nation, plenty of room. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But asking her that in the town hall, she can't answer that question.
Yeah, Anna, see if you can find a clip of that so we can get started, so we can answer it. Anyway, skipping Mafia video of the week because we ain't nowhere near 11 o'clock and we ain't nowhere near Monday. So let's go ahead and keep this.
What are you talking about 11 o'clock? What's this? You said 11 o'clock?
No, I said we're nowhere near 11 o'clock, which means we're nowhere near Monday. So let's keep the train going.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying the final stop ain't till 11 o'clock. I was just curious. I was just asking.
I ain't trying to see no 11 o'clock.
Okay, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Foxy's videos of the week. everybody, it has literally come to this.
Hey, how much to let me win an argument?
100.
Get in.
For $50 more, I won't tell you how to drive.
Great. Every year I have to go to your family's house for the holidays. I want to spend the holidays in my house for a change. Is that so much to ask?
You're right, baby. I'm sorry.
Wow, you're good. What's your Venmo?
Is that worth your divorce, sir? Because that's what you just.
I want to spend at home.
It has come to this.
It has not come to this. That man, he needs something. I don't know what he needs, but bro, get you some friends. And I'm gonna go back to my favorite soapbox. Learn how to upset your partner when it's necessary. You know, just go talk to her. Look, not this. It's like plan ahead. This how. All right, fellas out there. All right, look, unfortunately, this is how it generally works because women usually stay attached to their family. So out of necessity, it ends up becoming that the guy detaches somewhat from his family because of that, because you can't be in two places at one time, especially if the families are in different locations, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. And it doesn't have to be that way in such a way that you feel you're being pulled away from your family. So plan ahead. Hey, this year we're going to your mom's house for blah, 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 blah. What's planned for next year? Oh, we ain't made plans for that yet. All right, well, great. Next year we'll go see my parents. Well, we always spend Thanksgiving in my mom's house. Yes, I know. That's why I'm asking about next year.
That's the point.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have the conversation and be willing to have the conversation. Because, see, the thing is, if you're dealing with somebody, and I'm sorry the typecast, but it's because the upper hand is generally in the wife's department. You need to also be fair to her. She might not be fair in return, but you need to be fair to her. You want something. She doesn't know what you want unless you tell her what you want, right?
But let me cut in real quick. It was something that you said, but we always spend time with my mother's family on Thanksgiving. You just created a tradition. I didn't agree to that tradition.
But you did.
But you did, yes. So we're not going to keep this as a tradition. Like you just literally just said, we always do it. Hey, how you create a tradition what you decided to do?
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to kind of be fair to your partner, because if you are marrying into this family, that means unless you had a really short dating and engagement window, you knew this part kind of going in, okay? Because you were probably part of that each year in the serious portions of your relationship. No blame, no harm, no foul. Okay, cool. Especially if you got young kids. Okay, I get it. All right. And maybe maybe his family doesn't do this every year type of thing. So you really have a weak argument when your family doesn't even really do traditional stuff like that, and her family is like really big about it every year. But you still need to say, hey, all right, look, I'm just asking for this year that we go to my family for Thanksgiving, right? And maybe the conversation would be more along the lines of, let's alternate the holidays. So this year we do Thanksgiving with your mom, and then we do Christmas with mine, and then we reverse it next year, or we just make it where your family's Christmas and my family's Thanksgiving. There's ways to do it. It just means talking to your partner. I mean,
communicate. All right, let's go ahead and get to the next video. I don't know. By the way, Foxy is going to have a lot to say about this. I don't know if everybody has flown on Spirit before, but this is close to how it feels to fly on Spirit airline.
You're gonna flood the engine.
Listen. We've done Spirit a few times, and that last time it had me thinking maybe we just need to put out a few more dollars and go back to American. Because Spirit literally sound like it was cranking up, and we were already thousands of feet in the air.
Mm-mm.
To hold the lady that was sitting next to me, I had to hold her hand the entire time. I had to pray with her because she was so scared. Like, and inside, I was scared too.
I ain't flying nowhere on no Indiana Jones airplane. It's not happening.
Never doing Spirit.
We was in the air flying, and I hate this. This is one of, I can't even say pet peeves. This is one of my Final Destination things. How I don't know how to describe it. Don't have me flying for an hour, and we about to land. They announced we've got to our destination. We'll be landing in the next 30 minutes. And the next thing I hear is, hey, I'm gonna need you to let me go ahead and get into this cockpit so I can have a pep talk. You need to get me on this ground, cause yeah. I got something set up for 2026. It ain't gonna be Spirit. I don't give a damn what your price is. It ain't you.
I've not heard. I mean, I'm sure there's far more positive experiences than not, but I don't get positive reports about Spirit.
No.
Right? I hear, take Southwest. Southwest is underrated. I hear that. Delta is overrated. I hear that. I never hear nothing good about Spirit. So, I mean, it's like the Boost Mobile of airlines. I'm not interested. Like I'm that cat that I'm not very responsible with money. I know I'm not. My wife is so frustrated with me because I'm not. I pay for convenience. Right?
Okay.
I'll pay $20 more for something I know I can get up the street, but I can get this right here, right now. Okay, and the people here are nice. Run it. Let's do it. I'm good. Let's move. Versus driving just up the street, but now I got to stand in line. The floor is sticky.
Really?
The people are pissed off.
We needed to be in Florida. That was the deciding factor.
Mm-hmm.
We picked Spirit Airline because it had the time frame that we wanted to get down to Florida. We ain't doing that shit no more.
But,
so
or we
the time frame don't mean it won't explode. So it doesn't matter about the time frame if you ain't gonna get to the ground on time.
Yeah, like for people who have any experience with like going to a black barbershop, I don't know if this applies to beauty salons because I'm not beautiful enough for a salon, but the black barbershop, flying Spirit to me, listening to people is like going to sit in the empty chair. You don't do that. So Anna, this is what it is. You walk into the barbershop, right? And you got like 3 barbers at their chairs. And 2 of the barbers got people in their chair. The 3rd barber ain't got nobody in his chair. But there are people sitting in the couch area.
Yeah.
Waiting for a haircut.
Already in queue.
That means you don't go to that guy. Okay? The guy with the empty seat, you don't go to him. Because you now see, don't nobody else want to go over there. So they know that's the new guy, or he's the guy who's going to mess up your whole lineup. You're going to end up with
okay.
That's what I think of Spirit Airline. Hey, I'm open. No, it's all right, bro. I can wait.
Yeah.
But that was the worst, though, because we've done them, 3 or 4 times. And that was like the worst that we had ever had. We hadn't had a problem. with them until then.
Well, we got it now.
Right. So now you can write that off and say that was just a one-off, and give them another shot.
No, I'm good. That's just God's way of saying save more money.
And then remember the little girl? She got sick and she was throwing up. Oh, it was just a horrible flight. She was sick as a dog.
Oh, know that.
You don't remember the little girl behind us? Oh, well, maybe you didn't see because you had the window seat. She got sick. She was
Oh,
throwing
Spirit,
up,
I need the window seat.
and the lady beside me was about to cry, and I was like, oh my God, this is horrid. And then the airplane is making these funny noises the entire time.
Was it one of those smaller planes?
No, it's a regular size plane.
See, I shouldn't have to hear anything on a regular size plane, but I was on a smaller plane once, bigger than a puddle jumper, right? But it was one of them smaller planes, and it was I don't know where I was flying because it's a long time ago. I ain't been on a plane in many years. I think it was like 2013 when I went to the DR, but it was on the short route. I got on this plane, and the plane was small. Okay, like there was like a window seat and a window seat. There was nothing in the middle. Okay, that's how small this plane was. And I was like, never again. I need a big plane. I need a plane so big that if it's gonna crash, I might not even realize it because it's so big, right? I don't even want to be in a situation where if the plane crashes, there's a chance I might survive it. I don't need that. If it I want to go so fast and be so big and be over. I don't feel nothing. It's done, right? I don't want now little bitty plane. I'm half my leg missing, and I'm trying to drag myself out the wreckage, and then my one arm is on fire with jet fuel, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've had a lot of airplane stories. Like when I first went to New York, I flew by myself. I missed my flight at Was it LaGuardia?
LaGuardia.
Yeah, LaGuardia, and they found me a new flight, but I had to go to Baltimore first. And then I'm running through the airport, and as soon as I get to my gate, they canceled the flight. It was just crazy.
See,
it was my first time flying. It was crazy.
That terrifies me, Foxy, because like I've flown plenty of times in my life, but I haven't flown anytime recently. And I've never had a bad experience truly, right? My flights are never canceled. I'm never bumped from my seat. The plane is more or less on time. If there's a delay, it's like an hour or two, right? But I hear so much and so often about the flight got canceled, or there's a layover that you didn't plan for, or things. And I'm like, that scares me. I'm like, how I'm spending all this money, and you tell me I got to sleep in the airport for 2 days? I ain't got that kind of vacation time.
There are flights. I promise you, I've shown this to Foxy all the time. There are flights that's like dirt cheap, and on a regular flight straight to the. Promise you, I'm not exaggerating, hyperbole, whatever word you want to use. It is so dirt cheap, but when you look at the regular flight, it's like I'm just throwing a number out there. It's 3-hour flight. 2-hour flight. Let's make it more realistic. It's a 2-hour flight to get to where you're going. The cheapest flight, 19 hours. Because you don't flown from here to here, but you're going to stay in this city for about 14 hours.
Yes. You were doing a Sky Greyhound.
You get on that plane and then you fly all the way. I'm like, who is doing this?
Somebody who needs to get somewhere. Time is not of the issue, but money is.
Yes. But I've also figured out there's some people who do that on purpose, because the city that they're going to, that's the 14-hour layover, they wanted to go there.
Yeah, you treat it like
they can go and sightsee. They have family there. Hey, yeah. I'm staying over, blah blah blah, and everything else. So it works for you. I ain't got family out of North Carolina.
I'm not that guy. Like, for example, when we went to the Dominican Republic, like this is many years ago, it was like 2013. It was me and the guys. It was a guys trip, and the guys, most of the crew, was like, yo, we can catch the party bus, and that'll drive us from Atlanta to Orlando, and then catch the flight from Miami to the DR. And I'm sitting here like, but if I pay a couple hundred, and I'm the broke friend, so I'm the one who ain't got no money. But I'm still like, but if I pay just a couple $100 extra, I can fly from Atlanta to Miami, and from Miami to the DR, and I'll be there like half a day before everybody else. I'll do that.
Wow.
Yep.
Because their story when on the bus is like, you got the person who's sitting next to you that you don't know what they got. You got somebody coughing all over the place. You got people bringing out microwave plates worth of food. You got all this stuff going on. I don't need that. I don't need that. I'm gonna be uncomfortable.
I lived in Atlanta. I was just driving for it now.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to Florida.
I went to Atlanta as a connecting flight to New York, going to home for the holidays kind of thing. I was bumped up to first class, 17 years old.
Nice.
I get there. I'm seated next to Jimmy Smits. Had an excellent flight. Jimmy Smits, he was in NYPD Blue.
Oh, that's cool. But I don't know
a few other TV shows as well. He was a sweet man. Family meant everything to him, and like we were both going home to see our families. And he was just lovely in conversation. When we went to got off the planes in Atlanta, and I looked at a magazine, and he just automatically was like, I'll get that for you. He was such a nice guy.
That's awesome. I've never been bumped up the first class day in my life. I don't know what it's like up there except for when I walk through it.
I walk past them.
It's very nice.
To go to my other seats.
I try to save up so I can fly business class just so I can have more leg room.
Hey, how y'all doing? All right, last video, so we can go ahead and get into the comments to end the show. It's okay.
It's okay to be white. It's okay to be black. It's okay to be straight. It's okay to be gay. It's okay to be you. But it's never okay to stop at a yellow light when we both should have made it, bitch!
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I will stop at a yellow light in a minute. If I don't think I'm gonna make it, you better, don't ride too close to me. Sorry. But what I'm not gonna do is get a ticket out of convenience. We all good. I mean, I'm not gonna stop on yellow because it just turned yellow. But if it's yellow and I ain't at the line yet,
I know I'm not.
I'm thinking,
you're not gonna
is it worth it, or
All right, everybody, let's go through these comments real quick.
I'm going through the yellow, and I don't even care if it turns red before I get through it. I'm just gonna go faster.
Yeah, see,
so it's just a suggestion to you.
It is.
No, I'm not. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Like, and
green
like
means,
my wife will,
green means go. Red
my
means
wife will
stop.
running harder than I will. No, because yellow means you should have already been by the line. So once that light turns yellow, you need to be looking at how far am I from that line? Is it safe for me to stop? If it's not safe for me to stop, then I have to keep going. If it is safe for me to stop, I need to stop. Not I need to speed up 20 more miles per hour to try to get.
I don't know. Are the grandkids in the car with me? I mean, like, there's levels to this thing.
Ain't no levels for me. Ain't no levels for me.
I don't really drive much anymore. It's not.
But part of mine is I used to be a claims adjuster, so I'm very risk averse when it comes to traffic. It's just me.
I'm not. Red means stop, green means go, yellow means go faster.
Yeah, I've handled many accidents for people who think that way, and then
You
they sit there and want to argue with
hurling.
me. I'm sitting here trying to help you, and you're like, "Well, I had the right of way." No, really, you didn't. You did not. But it's okay, as long as people are making it.
My last
people make decisions every day.
My last statement on that subject. Whatever. Let's get to the comments. She does sidestep questions. Depends on the question. If it's one of them things that cut you off guard and everything, and it doesn't quite actually make sense to you, you're not going to have the answer off the top of your head, and no person on the face of the planet does.
Or it would be politically ill-advised to give an answer.
Right. I'm behind, but there has to be a better way for immigrants who do not yet have full citizenship to be able to access health care rather than having the emergency room as their only option. And Parker, this is not a shot to you at all, period, point blank, in the discussion. It is not. I'm a black man living in America. Health care for a long time in my society was the emergency room. For a long time.
And I get what you're saying, and I get what Parker's saying, right? Like,
yeah,
but here's the thing, right? That was part of the deal for you coming here in an undocumented status. Okay, it kind of is the deal. So we need to do what we need to have is universal health care. And in that case, it's just investing in the population of the nation, And if you're here illegally or you're here legally, maybe there's certain types of care you don't get when you're here illegally. Like you're not going to get the elective surgeries and stuff, but you would still be able to get the preventative care because you're just another person coming in for care. We're not there yet, right? You don't get to just jump the line and get all the rights and freedoms and privileges. You just don't, because especially, and I'm not trying to make the argument of it was bad for me, so it should be bad for others. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying my community has been on the shit end of the stick the whole time we've been here. And I'd be damned if we still at the shit end of the stick and we worried about how we give somebody. No, we're not there yet, baby. Let's do better by our citizens first and then radiate outward. And then at the same time, let's work on how we help people become citizens that want to become citizens. Because those are some of the best people are the ones who were choosing to be here as opposed to those who were just lucky enough to come out of the birth canal in the right state.
Yeah. I'm not flying over the Atlantic on a dirt cheap flight.
You don't like living on the edge?
No. No. Of course, the last time I never got out of Copenhagen Airport. I don't know where that's at. Airfares are too high. I agree.
Yeah.
And they're like, did you see what they were doing with the hurricanes? And now this is part of your capitalist America, folks. So people were needing to evacuate, and the airlines were tripling up on the prices. You were getting like $3,000 airfare to get out. Now, first of all, I get it. There's a scarcity of seats to fly the plane in the wintertime that it is. That doesn't mean raise your price, though. You keep your price on what you would normally run that route for, and people can buy the flight and go. Or better yet, the government should have something in place. But I'm sorry, I forgot we live in a country where we don't want to pay taxes. So there's no way the government could really do this. But it would be ideal for the government to be able to say, hey, we have declared an emergency. So the rate is normally $600 for this ticket. We're going to supplement 50% of that. And we're just going to fill these seats and keep them flying. Fill the seats and keep them flying. Because when you do this thing where you keep raising the price because you're saying it's scarcity, now you're saying those who have the most money are the most important, and we need to get them out. And that's just dead wrong. That's just dead wrong. You should be trying to get the people out The airline should not be told to lose or take a loss on this. So the government needs to pay them back, and let's do this, right? But it's not the economy we live in.
Anna, tell everybody where they can find you.
BoreliaEtc.com.
Anna ready to go. Theus?
Right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're Le Québécois.
I appreciate Anna. I appreciate Theus. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.